Morning.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Manila City Hall. You can take your seats.
Morning. Okay.
Pleasant morning to everyone. Good morning. As we wait for the mayor to go out of her office, she's attending to something very important right now. Let's all have a seat. Again, a pleasant morning to everyone. Welcome to Manila City Hall. This is the seat of power of the local government of Manila. This is where our mayor holds office, right in the very area where you are right now. This is our main function hall. It's called Bulwagan Antonio Villegas. To give you some brief information about our city. The city of Manila is the capital city of the Philippines. Land area is around 42.3 square kilometers. Our population is around 2.5 million, but our population varies during daytime and nighttime. Why is that? Because Manila, being the capital city, it's also the center of trade, industry, and education. So many people from the outskirts, some from other cities would study here in Manila, do business in Manila. So our population during daytime is around 2.5 million, but it minimizes around to 1.8 million during nighttime. We are divided into 6 congressional districts, in which each district we have a representative to the House of Representatives, the national lawmaking body. We also have a local legislative body, which is called the Manila City Council. We have 36 councilors, 6 councilors each from the 6 districts, and we also have 2 sectoral representatives, 1 representative from the barangay chairman, which is the basic political unit in the Philippines, and we also have a sectoral representative from the Sangguniang Kabataan, which is the youth counterpart of barangays. So, being the capital city, we pride ourselves of great history. That is why right at the place where we are right now, if you could, I noticed you mentioned the mural around you. It's a national cultural treasure. It was declared as a national cultural treasure, but unfortunately, it's just a replica. The original has undergone restoration. It's located inside the National Museum, but it's due to return here at the very same area where we at in due time. So to give you a brief history of our great city. Manila is the capital city of the Philippines. The character of our city as a capital started during the time of the colonization. If you're familiar with Philippine history, I know some of you are. During the 1950s, during the 1500s, I mean, Portuguese conqueror rediscovered the Philippines. It was just we call it rediscovery. You know why? Because there's already life in the Philippines before Magellan found out of the islands. So eventually, Magellan failed to conquer the Philippines. He was a Portuguese, but some of his men were able to go back to Spain and bring the story about our islands. So there were several expeditions. Several expeditions were made by the King of Spain. Unfortunately, 9 of those expeditions failed. But the 10th expedition succeeded, and that was the expedition of Miguel Lopez de Legazpi. If you could see at your right side, it symbolizes trade, economic trade and activities before Spain came. So it means even before Spain came to the Philippines, we already had trade relations with China, India. So that's why we are really correcting the misconception of the Philippines being discovered. It was just a rediscovery. So Miguel Lopez de Legazpi was when he returned to the Philippines, he made an expedition. He heard of, actually he landed in Bohol. He didn't actually land in Manila. He landed in Bohol and heard of a news stating that there's a great place in Luzon where it could be a good trading place because there's a great river that lies in between and it's bounded by 2 great oceans. So Miguel Lopez de Legazpi personally made it a point to go to this portion of the Philippine Islands, which later on came to be Manila. So if Magellan was responsible for the rediscovery, it was Miguel Lopez de Legazpi who was responsible for the colonization of the Philippines. Why? Because he was the first one to establish, it means that when he went to Manila, he spread out his men and told his men to conquer as many lands as you could. You know, during those times, if at present our measure of being powerful is through economic means, during those times, if the more colonies you have, the more powerful you become. And it's only a battle between the two, Portugal and Spain. So when when Miguel Lopez de Legazpi rediscovered, established settlement in Manila, right there and then he made Manila as the capital city. And it was never the same again during that time. Because since that time up to the present, we were the capital of the city. To be exact, it would be around 453 years ago. 450 years ago. So, Magellan offered Manila to, again, it's Miguel Lopez de Legazpi when he established settlement in Manila, offered the city to the King of Spain, and made it as the distinguished and ever loyal city. And it was never the same again. Manila was the center of trade and industry, politics, education, culture, and everything. That is why, if I know after this should go around our country, if you would see great bodies of water, if you would see great amusement parks from other portions of the country, they wouldn't have something that we are very proud of. And what is that? It's our more than 450 years of rich culture and history. That is what we pride ourselves of. So, well, actually it's a challenge. You know why? Because, as you progress, we should try to we should try to keep that character of being old and historic. But we're keeping up with the phase. We still have that character of an old city, and yet our economy is not lagging behind our counterparts. So, was it a safe colonization during Spanish rule? Well, for more than 300 years it was. Why? Because no Filipinos dared to dare to fight against Spaniards. If there were battles that were made during those 300 years, it's not about battle referring to nationalism or love of country. It was only during the time of Jose Rizal, our national hero. If other countries would have soldiers, generals, warriors as their national heroes, ours is different. You know why? Because we have a peace-loving, amiable, intelligent national hero. Why? Because he wanted to free the Philippines from foreign rule using peaceful means. And he wrote through his pen. But you know, peaceful as his desire may be, it never lasted. Because ultimately, to free ourselves from foreign rule, we have to fight. And the works of Jose Rizal inspired revolution, Filipino revolutionaries during those times. And one of those is one of those who really started the Filipino Revolution is a hero born and raised in Manila. And who is that? That is Andres Bonifacio. Andres Bonifacio. If Rizal was known for his peaceful advocacy, it's Andres Bonifacio is otherwise. He really wanted revolution because he thought it's the ultimate way to free ourselves from foreign rule. But you know, physically speaking, Filipinos could not really fought hand in hand against the Spaniards. It was very lucky for us. You know why? Because our American friends helped us. It was also during the time when Cuba was having a revolution that Filipinos also wanted to have a revolution. So Cuba was a colony of Spain and the Philippines at the same time. So it means the attention of Spain would be divided because Cuba is such a powerhouse compared to the Philippines. So it was the opportune time for the Filipinos to do a revolt because Spain's attention would be divided. And we were ultimately aided by our American friends. That is why we owe so much to our American friends. Even before, even during, it's very clear in our history how our American friends helped us, even up to the present. So, it was through the Treaty of Paris wherein the Americans bought the Philippines from Spain. But you know, it was just something to really soften the impact of the defeat of Spain, because they wouldn't want to bow their heads on Filipinos who are their colonies. So instead of bowing to Filipinos, they bowed to the Americans, which may be a saving grace for them because they were not defeated by the Filipinos but the Americans. So we were under American rule for a certain time, but being the friends, being the Western friends that the Americans are, they helped us. They are slowly preparing us for the ultimate independence that we wanted to. So there were several campaigns from Filipino nationalists who really wanted to revolutionize or to hasten the revolution, the independence that we have. When the Americans were just about to give us the independence, unfortunately, the Second World War happened. And again, being a colony of the Americans, the Philippines was obviously affected. In fact, during the Second World War, our city, Manila, was the second most devastated city in the world, second only to Warsaw in Poland. So that's how great the impact of the Second World War was to our city specifically. So when the Second World War died down and the Japanese ultimately surrendered, we were finally given our independence. So if you would notice, all of these major chapters of our history happened in the city. So what I'm trying to point out here is that the history of the city is somewhat the history of the country. If you would know very well the history of our city, I'm very sure you wouldn't miss an important chapter in Philippine history, even up to present. Political events, cultural events, everything that has national impact happens in our city. So later on, I would later I'm sorry. We're very thankful. We're very honored to also have with us the son of our former mayor, Mayor Antonio Villegas. Sir? We also have our councilor from the 1st District of Manila, 2nd District of Manila, Councilor Numero Uno din. And I know somebody who's been with you all the time, ever since the preparation of this trip, Chairman now. I think the mayor is about to come out. If you have your first female chairman of the Manila San Francisco Sister City Committee, we also pride ourselves of our first female mayor. That is what a day to happen here in Bloomsburg. Ladies and gentlemen, let's all welcome the mayor of the city of Manila, Mayor Honey Lacuna.
Please take your seats. Good morning. Welcome to the city of Manila. I'm so happy that you had the time to visit the city government. I don't know if this is your first time. Second time? Oh, third time. Third time na po pala si ma'am. But before anything else, I'd like to acknowledge the San Francisco Manila Sister City Movement, headed by, of course, your chairman, Ma'am Carmen Colette, and Mark Chandler, head of the delegation. Have you been around the city? Not yet. You just arrived yesterday, so still jet lagged. You're good, you're good. So how long will you be staying here in our city? 4 days? 4 days? Too short. Too short. There's a lot to see in our city. I don't know when, for mga kapwa ko na Filipino, I don't know when the last time you visited the city, but there's a lot to see now. And I hope you get the chance in your 4 days to go around the city. We've been trying to develop a lot of tourism hubs in the city. We took the pandemic, the 2.5 years, as a way for us to redevelop a lot of our sites here in the city. So I do hope you get the chance to visit our city. Are they going sa clock tower? Oh, good, good. So again, thank you so much for taking your time to visit Manila City Hall. It's a very old building, as you can see. But we're trying our best to at least make it presentable to all our visitors. You'll see a lot of history in this building, like the ones here. But the original one is in National Museum, the mural. So, again, welcome to our very historic city, the capital of the Philippines, and enjoy the rest of your stay here. Thank you very much.
Okay, everybody here. 1, 2, 3. Ready.
One, two.
May kasalita pa doon. Okay.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Do not proceed at the Clock Tower Museum.